This podcast is produced by the Suncoast Professional Firefighters and Paramedics, IAFF, Local 2546. It's intended for informational purposes only. The information presented in this podcast should not be considered legal, financial, or medical advice. Additionally, the views, thoughts, and opinions expressed during this podcast are the speaker's own and do not represent the views of the host or affiliated organizations such as the International Association of Firefighters, the Florida Professional Firefighters, or any fire department, government, or governmental agency. The content of this podcast is not intended to serve as an advertisement for or endorsement of any political candidate or political party. This podcast remains the property of Suncoast Professional Firefighters and Paramedics, IAFF Local 2546, and is produced for its exclusive use. Any use, reproduction, or rebroadcast of this podcast without the written authorization from Suncoast Professional Firefighters and Paramedics, IAFF Local 2546, is strictly prohibited. They're bad for the community. They're bad for public safety. Welcome, everybody, to the 2546 Leatherhead Experience.
Hola, hermanos and hermanas.
Hola.
Número 7.
Yes, episode 7 in G's native tongue. We got a big crew today, full ass house, right?
Yeah,
I think it's the first time
loving it.
we filled up the table. So I'm going to start with the newcomers to the show. My man Fabrice from Charco, also known affectionately by me as Fabrizi.
We all call him Fabrizi now because
Yeah, because of me, I know. And love me some Fabrice. I'm glad he can come on the show today. He's going to talk a little bit about his experiences recently within 2546 as we talk about getting more people involved. And just very proud of him and his approach lately. And very excited to have him on the show today. Next to him is one of our newer business agents, Seth Burnett and Seth works at Southern Manatee. Go ahead and say something, Seth.
Let's go. Excited to be here.
So Seth's going to come on and talk about his new experiences in 2546 as he's been on as one of our business agents now, probably like 6-8 months-ish?
Yeah.
Yeah. And just one of our up-and-comers. He's experiencing his first, what I like to call real negotiations, right?
That's a fact.
At the Scrota County, right? And
come get you some. Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, Seth works for a fire district at Southern Manatee, and it's well documented that we have some great leadership in our fire districts throughout Manatee County, at the chief level and at the DVP levels, and usually in the negotiations process of the fire districts, it's a lot calmer, quicker, and more efficient, right?
Very much so.
Part of that is because you guys are just dealing with the fire department, right? And I get that part. But generally our fire district, if their negotiations meetings goes past meeting 4, then there's a real problem, right? Usually, usually they file for bargaining, right? So we get the notice that we're filing for bargaining, and then like 2 meetings later, G gets a contract to post for ratification.
Yeah. You started? Wait, you started?
Well,
I thought you just started.
Yeah. So he's enjoying his time learning how the other half lives, right?
Yes. Yeah. The dark and dirty.
Yeah.
Well, that's what gets you that experience, brother.
Yeah. And then we got our boy G Regazzi back on here. I might as well call him the co-host now because he's been on here so many times. Secretary Regazzi's with us again today.
Hey, baby.
Yeah.
You know you missed me.
We're having a lot of fun today, and then we got our Charlotte County political liaison. So we started with Tyler a couple weeks ago, Sarasota County, giving a little bit of a Sarasota County political update. Last week we had Greg on here to do a little bit of Manatee County political update, and then we plan on having Mike giving us a rundown of how Charlotte County's going. We got a lot of exciting races this year at the commission level. We have a lot of exciting races in the city of Punta Gorda level. Got to do some positive change there for sure. And then we got some state races down there, and we got a congressional race down there now. And so we're going to be talking a little bit about that. But so we're going to start.
What's up?
We're going to start to my left. And so a little bit of a background. Charlotte County, and these two dudes will kind of confirm this for us, but Charlotte County hit a little bit of a bad streak there, right? A little bit of a bad turn. And your DVP, Chad McCollum, I think the world of, in fact, that was my number one draft pick when I took over this.
Yes.
When I took over this role, that was my number one draft pick for business agent. I went to him first, and he turned me down like a bad prom date, right? And said, but to his credit, said he wanted to correct some things in Charlotte before he considered other things within the local, which I can appreciate, right? I was very similar when I was leaving my DVP position at Longboat. I had a couple things left on the table that I wanted to complete, and so when I took over political and business agent here, my predecessor Phil Vetz allowed me to kind of stay involved over there with the contract and stuff to help finish that up. And so Chad had some things that he felt like he needed to fix, and he came to me and talked about where you guys were in morale and other issues that were going on. And I rely on my DVPs to give me the skinny, and he did. And I said, well, that's not acceptable, right? We gotta fix something. So we brought a team in. Mike was part of that process. Developed a strategy, which included first meeting with commissioners, doing a internal survey, meeting with county admin, providing them the results of our internal survey, which love my brothers and sisters at Charlotte County showed out well for that. When you have 90%, over 90% participation in a unit that large, you're talking 280 people, and we had, I think, 264 respond. That's exactly the data I need to go after something. So Chad did most of the heavy lifting and went and presented that, and I was part of that process. Thankful the county admin there listened to us, right? They were appreciative of our input. They received it very well. They took it in, and a change was made, right? We had a fire chief resign, and which was unexpected, but definitely positive, right? So the new fire chief, I know you guys love and speak very highly of, and everything he's doing there. And then through that process, we had meetings set up with the commission to talk about your pay issues there. And you guys both being paramedics, you guys kind of knew what some of the stuff going on there. Losing a lot of medics. Some of it had to do with some of the stuff going on day to day, which the new chief is now fixed, which helped morale almost immediately. But thankfully, again, county admin was receptive to our needs. We sat and we had one meeting, right? Opened up the contract, had one meeting, made significant advancements in y'all's pay and benefits there, and how you guys take time off. Closed the contract up, and now you guys are doing okay, right? Until contract time.
Which, by the way, that's unheard of.
Yeah.
Mid-contract
For Charlotte.
For Charlotte.
Ever. So Fabrice was part of watching this whole thing, and he went with us to Tallahassee, and we got to talk a little bit about this. But Fabrice went and said, "Fuck, man, this union is awesome." As we say, 2546, don't fuck around, right? And
Don't fuck around.
And said, "I want to be more involved in that process." And you came up to Tally. So let's talk about first your trip to Tallahassee, man. How was that for you?
That trip to Tallahassee was very amazing. It was very eye-opening, especially starting out in the fire department. When I joined on, I didn't really think much about the union or getting involved in union stuff.
Hey, how long ago was that?
That trip to Tallahassee?
No, when did you get started?
I started in January of 2022, so almost 4.5 years on.
Yeah.
I'm 20 years old, and I was like, man, I get to ride big fire trucks, and I get to do cool stuff. I'm all in.
Yeah.
And like Jason was saying, we ran into a bad point, lost a lot of good people, had some problems with the chief and all that. And that was kind of my introduction into the union, because everyone was like, hey, man, it's going to suck for a little bit, but we're going to get through it. It's going to take a little bit. And a week later, here comes Chad and Jason. They're like, yeah, actually, this has never happened before, but we got it resolved.
Yeah.
So for me, that was very eye opening. And then to go up to Tallahassee and to see what these guys do on the state level was very awesome. It's more that goes into it than I would have ever thought. And I got to meet a lot of good people, got to sit in, had a lot of people come in and talk to us. The CFO, Blaze Angola, came in, he talked to us. Lieutenant Governor came in. So a lot of higher people came in, and just some of the stuff they said. And you got to see how much they respected the union and our input and how much of an influence that goes into it. So that was pretty exciting for me to get to be a part of.
Yeah, and I love when people come to these events for the first time. You're going to be attending your first convention.
I am
in a couple of weeks.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, I love new blood.
I'm gonna air tag them.
Yes, please. No. Yeah,
I gotta keep them safe, brother.
I love new blood. Right? It's I think I talked about it a few episodes ago. It's almost like an IV infusion for me because this job and these guys who know me and know all the work I put in here most days sometimes wears you down and sometimes you even question like what the hell you're doing it for, right? Because you're getting beat up on a lot from a lot of different places but when I see new people seeing the value in your union and wanting to say, okay, hell, I'm going to step up and get involved and show up to stuff and participate. It rejuvenates me, right? I've loved new blood. You and River from Charlotte came to Tallahassee. You both were. I remember we talked the last night, and you both were like, "Man, I did not know we did all this, right?"
100%. I thought it was a very basic thing, and I was like, "There's a lot of work that goes in behind the process, and these guys do a lot more than just dealing with us and our problems. It goes all the way up to the state level."
Yeah, I mean, hell, you got here today. We usually get some snacks before the podcast starts, so we're doing that and eating lunch and having beverage, and you were sitting there talking with Seth and Sarasota County DVP Baker and going through some of the stuff we're going through over there and Punta Gorda races, right? We're talking about that stuff, and you looked at me and I was like, dude, it don't fucking stop, bro. Like every day is something new, and you guys get to see that. You're going to see that again at convention when you see all these locals from all over the state there learning, trying to be better, creating new leaders like yourself. And it's exciting, right, to be a part of all that stuff. And you're right, there is a lot that goes behind the scenes. But when you went to Tallahassee, we sat in meetings with all the senators and reps from our area, right, and you get to see some of those relationships we have built up over in some cases a decade. That shit doesn't happen overnight. And anytime I can get anybody new involved in that process to help them understand everything that goes into it, it makes me feel good. Because you're 24, I'm 48, right? So we're on the flip side of things, right? Mike said this, I guess, a few episodes ago. Like, guys like you, this is going to be more your union than mine, right? Because I'm 23 years in, I'm going to do, I have in mind what I'm going to do, health willing, but you're going to be in this union longer going forward than I will be. And so, turning it over to guys like yourself has always been my mission in things. So now you get home from Tallahassee and your political liaison says, "Hey man, we need some help in all these Charlotte County races. They're important to what we do," right? And there you are. So now we've talked about the involvement raffle, I think damn near every episode.
Mm-hmm.
Fabrice,
Leading the way, brother.
he's the leader in the clubhouse right now with now his fifth entry into the involvement raffle, being on the podcast here today. And talk about some of the stuff you've been doing on behalf of the Charlotte brothers and sisters.
So I've had the honor of riding with Ms. Kim Almontry, who we're endorsing right now. She's currently running for Charlotte County Commissioner. We've had a lot of great times. I've been able to go drive with her while she's went door knocking and we've had great conversations. Learned a lot about her, which, funny enough, learned I went to school with her daughter in that process. And it was like a small world, and we kind of bonded and we communicated off of that a little bit. But coming back from Tallahassee, the LT here was like, hey, there's events going on. Can we get...
First of all, he's not LT today. He's just Mike.
Oh, Mike. So Mike was like, hey,
There's no rank in the union.
Yeah, there isn't. I'm not even, when people call me President, so President Ski or President, I'm like, no, I'm just Jason, bro.
Well, no, you are our president.
I get it. Not today, yeah.
But no, so he's been great. So all these different events going on, like I said, a lot of important things going down in Charlotte County right now. And that's something that I was happy to take a part in, because being new to the union, I'm kind of soaking it up like a sponge right now and getting to be a part of everything and seeing how everything works. And like you're saying, we're building a lot of relationships. And that's something I learned was that's how we get a lot of things done that we need to. We go in and they need us. We help out. We show support when we can. And then when we need them, it's the same thing in return.
Yeah.
So a lot of great things. And that's something, honestly, I've been trying to pass on to the newer guys as well. Because I know when I first came in, I didn't know much about the union and all that. And it's important, as I've been learning, to get involved from an early age. Like you said, you're turning it over 24 to 48. It's like, it's a good time to get in. And like Mike was saying earlier, start getting that knowledge. So when the time comes, we have the people in place for all the right pieces.
Yeah, I'm a big believer. I read it in a, prior to, there was about a 1 to 2 year window before I took over as president when it kind of seemed like I might be the next guy up for this place. And so, a few things in life I've never done is one, run a $1 million corporation, a multi-million-dollar corporation, right? And other things, right? So I read a lot of leadership books from generals down to business leaders to different leadership styles, different management styles. And I forget where it was, but in one of the things I was reading through, it stated that the moment you take over a position, you should literally start looking for your successor the next day, right? And that's something I kind of bought into, right? Because we've been very fortunate here. My predecessor's Merv, like he was kind of the next guy up, and everybody kind of knew that, right? And then Phil, kind of same thing, like everyone kind of knew that, right? And then with me, everyone was like, hey, Jason's kind of our guy. I don't know, what happens if your next guy up gets hit by a fucking bus, right? So you should be building out this bench of guys who can maybe take over 5, 6, 10 of them, and then the members will decide at that point, right? So getting guys like you involved is so important. And you're building. I talked to Kim today. Actually, she called me today about a different issue, but she immediately mentioned you, and first said, Mike and the guys have been great. Love Fabrice, and so this will probably be, hopefully, as we're trying to make sure it happens, our next county commissioner for Charlotte County.
Let's go.
And
next county commissioner.
And you have built that relationship with her where she already thinks of you when it comes to Charlotte County Fire Rescue. And that's something that will never go away. Right? That's you picked up on something we're trying to do. And I appreciate you so much for doing that, man.
I appreciate the opportunity, because especially after all this happened, Chad reached out. He was like, hey, any interest in the union? I'm like, after seeing the work that the union just came in and did, I'm like, absolutely. I'm like, Local 2546, we don't fuck around.
That's right. We got to
Still waiting on those T-shirts.
We got to get those shirts made.
We got collector's items, 11-cent coins that we got to get rid of.
Are we trying to do like the Wu-Tang Clan? Ain't nothing to fuck with. You know what I'm saying?
Almost like that. But we don't fuck around, right? Just like 2546, and then on the back, we don't fuck around. And
Facts.
Yeah, I actually said that.
Unless we want to fuck around.
Because for at one point where we came up with that one point in Tallahassee, we're just sitting at that rooftop bar in that hotel we stay at, and Fabrice and River we were talking because I always I talked about a convention or anything we do, anytime we have a new group or new people, I always try to make sure I dedicate a few minutes or hours to those people. to share in that experience, because again, it makes me feel good to see new people, and got the opportunity. And you guys expressed how grateful you were to how Chad, again, really leading that process. Me just helping out, right? My job is to support my DVPs. Chad did the heavy lifting on that, and I just subbed in my little pieces here and there. But you guys are very appreciative, and we started talking about how that process came, and you guys are, I forget what I said, and they're like, "Oh man, you did that," and I was like, "Yeah, man, dude, we don't fuck around." And you're like, 2546, we don't fuck around. I was like, "Bang, that's it. We got to get a shirt." So
No, but it's all been awesome so far. Glad to be a part of making some relationships. It's been great working with Kim. Looking forward to doing some more events with her in the future here and more things with the union. Yeah. And that's something, honestly, I encourage a lot of the newer guys, especially myself. I've been in less than 5 years.
Yeah.
So it's like learning about the union. It's a great experience. And for me, I know it's opened up a new love for the job, because it's not just going into work, clocking in, and going home. Now you're getting to meet with other departments, making connections with new brothers, and exploring that fire family.
Yeah. Real quick, I was to say, I'm moved by God to say this. This business, union-wise, isn't just about money. It's about making a better life for firefighters, a better life. And the impact that has is it's not just money, it's time off, it's being allowed to be with your families and being respected by the administration and the community and respecting each other. And, that's what the union brings, and that's what it's bringing. And it opened my mind. And I've heard Jay say it 1,000 times, cancer's high, suicide's high, divorce rate's high. And those are the things that we're trying to prevent. Not even reduce. Reduce is great. Prevent. And that's the function of the union. It's not just, I wish it was as easy as people just paying dues. Here's the money, and it happened. It just isn't. That's a part of the process so the function can happen. And then that's us, all of us, all the people listening, all the people that you sit next to in the apparatus, at the stations, at the functions. We all have to get involved. And it doesn't have to be a ton of time. It could be an hour. It could be a half hour. It could be a 15-minute conversation, putting in signs, holding signs, representing a better life. And I'm always blown away at your response when I send out requests. I send out requests to about 20 different people because I try not to overdo it. I try to do it with people that I'm establishing or have established relationships with, or I see potential. And you always respond. You have never not responded. And some of those chats, it's like a ghost town. Because people are like, they haven't been to Tallahassee.
You know how that feels.
They haven't been to Tallahassee. They haven't taken that leap to see what is actually happening. They haven't been to a function. They just pay their dues and they go along their way. And I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with that. We all have to do that. That is the minimum. The minimum.
100%.
And so, I definitely appreciate it. I know Chad appreciates it. He talks about it all the time. Geez, Jay appreciates it. He's talking about it all the time.
I even made you a nickname. But and what Mike's speaking to, I absolutely, many hands makes light work, right? No. So I'll use my brothers at Bradenton, for example, right? Because I talk about their level of political involvement, right? So they have probably about 70 members. They go out on Saturdays and Sundays doing political season and do door knocking. Well, they show up 35 or 40 deep. They bring their wives, and we knock out 3,000 homes in like 2 hours, right? Not that, and then we go have wings and beer and hang out and do brotherhood stuff, and it's a good day, right? And it's not even hard work. You're sitting there hanging out with your brothers, doing like we do at the firehouse, bullshitting with each other, busting balls and doing stuff, right? So flip side, somebody puts out hey man, we're going to do some door knocking with, candidate X this week, and only 5 show up. Well, those 2,000 homes now becomes 8 hours, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And so, many hands makes light work. And and I always appreciate groups. Now, I will say this about Charlotte County Brothers and Sisters: when it comes to holding signs and being at the polls and some other things, there's a group there that gets it, right? They do, and I would obviously like it to be a bigger group, of course, but there is a group of folks there that get it, and they show up. Wendy, who's retiring, would show up to the polls all the time because I would on election day. I start down in Charlotte County, right? Because I live in Manatee County, so I literally drive down to Charlotte County, hit all the polls down there. Mike's seen me out there. I come by, say hello to guys, thank them for being out there. Shake babies, kiss hands, type stuff, or the other way.
That's where I saw the first straw hat. I was like, "Where'd you get that?"
Yeah.
You're like, "It's at the office." And
Yeah,
I'm like,
swag hats,
swag.
right? Yeah. So, that say thank you to all the Charco folks, then work my way into the city, say thank you to those folks, work my way up into Sarasota County and Northport and Venice and say hello to those folks, and end up back in my home Manatee County seeing hanging out with the Bradenton guys and such. Then I go home, shower, and then I go out and I start Manatee County and work my way back down to go to all the election parties, right? Congratulate people, say hello, and all that stuff. And so you guys do have a group down there that shows out, and I've always been very appreciative. Charlotte gets it. Even with that survey, like when we created it, Chad and Nick Warnberg and others put it together, and then G gets it through our survey program going, and we created that thing, and right before he hit the send button kind of deal, Chad's what else do we need to do? And I was like, dude, I can't have 50 of a unit of 280. I can't just have 50 respondents. That doesn't give me anything. I can't do anything with that, right? That shows that nobody even gives a shit, right? When we have over 90%, that registered with county admin, and they saw that and were like, well, we got a fucking problem, right? This is, our fire department does not want to be here anymore. That's a problem. Right?
Problems.
Of course it is.
Yeah. And
he had 5 years. That survey was prepared 2 years prior.
yeah.
And so Chad wanted to give him
He did.
as much opportunity as he possibly could
Yeah.
to change the direction, and he just couldn't.
Our goal, I mean, let's face it, we're a union, right? I spent an exorbitant amount of time keeping people gainfully employed, right? Yeah. So
Remember that. Please remember that.
So I am never looking I have never in my entire union career have asked for someone's head, right, or their job. That's just not what I do, right? That's not how I operate. What I am not afraid to do is ask for change, and I have done that quite a bit. And in Chad's case, there, almost till he was blue in the face, asked for positive change, and was met with nothing but resistance. So at some point, you got to flip that switch and say, okay, well, at what point do we just say we're going to cut our losses and figure this out? Again, not expecting county admin to do anything, just present it to them and do what they did. And honestly, I saw a couple of your commissioners I went to you guys' picnic, Charco, new member, retiree picnic down there. And a couple of commissioners, Commissioner Teseo and Constance were there. We'll talk about Chris a little bit, but both of them said that they were very happy with the direction that county admin went with that situation. And when they see and talk with firefighters like they were doing at that picnic, everybody was happy again, right? And I said, well, that's, thankfully because of our relationships and everything with them, we got the ball rolling. But that's all to talk about what Mike said, that's all I really look for in life. Like, okay, a lot of stuff we talk about making people's lives better, there's a cost to it, right? There's a dollar amount to it, and we get that, right? Okay, so the 24/72, right? Better work weeks. Well, there's a cost to that, right? So if you went to 24/72 tomorrow, that means you have to have a fourth shift. Well, what does that mean? There's a cost to that, right? Ultimately, there's a cost to it. our only goal in life is to make you, one, enjoy coming to work, two, have a wage that allows you to take care of your family, right? And three, enjoy coming to work, wage that takes care of your family, and then four, recognizing that you gave 25, 30 years of your life to a service, to a job that beats up your body. My youngest daughter's graduating high school, and she's going into orthopedics. Cannot wait for her to do my knees and shoulders because this job has beat the shit out of me. But something that allows you to enjoy the fruits of your labor when you retire in dignity, and be able to enjoy the last 5, 10, 15, 20 years of your life without worrying about things, right? And that's all we work towards. And, and I think that's why we resonate so well with our political friends is, like, we never sit there and talk about dollars and cents. We just talk about, hey, man, I'm here to make my members' lives better.
Yep.
And, yeah, I'm not naive to the fact there's a dollar amount to that shit. So, yeah, I got to figure that out, too. And that's why we got these guys with calculators around here called business agents that tell me how much it costs.
Calculators.
And even dollar amount aside, most of it, from what I've learned too, starts off with us as the members. Paying your union dues, that's the tip of the iceberg. Showing up, putting boots on the ground, like me and Mike have talked about this all the time, that's what really gets the job done. Because you guys stand here, I know you're always busy doing different things for us. You do a lot. And having more members getting active, signing up for events, showing up, showing that, hey, we do care. It's not just one person. You're not just pulling this out of thin air. This is a problem that we all recognize we have, and we as the members want to come together and fix this. So dollar amount aside, sign up for your events, make things easier on us. It's easier to sit here and complain about a lot of the things, but once you show up and you actually put the time and efforts in, it makes it a lot easier for those things to happen as well.
And it's easy, right? I think I said this in the last episode or something. When I showed up to y'all's negotiations, we opened that contract up. We filled the damn room up, right? Nothing but red shirts, 60, 80 deep. I mean, that bill at Wings and Rings that night was very expensive for us, but it was worth it.
There was almost 120 or 30 people there.
Yeah, and
families.
They showed
and
up.
Retirees. It was amazing.
Yeah, they showed up. I mean, yeah, you're right. I had a couple of retirees come up to me and thanking me for showing up and still fighting for the membership. And but it's easy for me when that happens because now I have the force behind me showing that I'm not sitting here just bullshitting. No, these men and women serving this community are fucking pissed and they want to fix and they want it now, right? That's easy at that point, right? When we show up at political events and we're 10, 15, 20, 30 deep, it just endears the candidate to us. Like, these dudes care about us, right? They care about me enough to try to help me get elected or reelected. And when the time comes, I'm going to care about them, right? There's no quid pro quo and any of that stuff. Like I tell people all the time, just because we help somebody doesn't mean anything. But what it does mean is we have a relationship that we can have serious conversations about, and that's what we had in Charlotte County. The other commissioners, Commissioner Truex and others there, just absolutely love you guys and respect you guys. Joe DeSeo, Chris Constance, they all love you guys, and part of it is just because of that, and they all know Mike, and I created this tripod of political liaisons just recently, but they knew Mike before that because he would show up to every damn political thing. And before I had a Charlotte County political liaison, he was kind of already that. It's like when I created the positions, I went to Chad and said, hey, man, I'm thinking about making Mike the Charlotte County political liaison. And Chad's like, well, if you didn't, I'd be pissed. That's
I'll second that. Does a great job.
And so, yeah, just very appreciative of you. Very excited for you and your endeavor. We'll mention it as before we sign off again, the involvement raffle. But you're the clubhouse leader right now. You got now 5. I think the next closest guy's got 2 or 3. So you're
by the 14th he'll have 6, and then all of June I think he's
by the end of this season he'll have by the end of this
You
year,
might as well just hand them a car.
20, 25 or 30.
You want?
25 or 30.
TVs. How many rooms do you got in your place?
With a license plate tag that says "Easy Fabrice."
I mean, currently, we haven't really started buying a whole lot of the prizes that I actually found a really good deal on some prizes, so that's why we have the 555-inch flat screens already done for that. The other stuff will kind of fold in because we got time, right? And I'm constantly watching, stuff, and as soon as something goes on sale, and I'm like, oh shit, that's a shit fireman will like boom, load up and put it on the involvement raffle and call it a day. So as that starts getting out, I know Miss Sylvia created a flyer for it and sent it out on our social media and website now because it's up and running and going full blown. And get involved in. We had a brother yesterday at Sarasota County. Negotiations, just show up and be a part of it and watch, right? And bang, he's in there, done.
There you
right?
go.
One entry,
There you go.
just that quick, right? Just show up and be a part of something positive in 2546. Boom, you get it. And
It's like Greg said last time. Show up, have some beer.
yeah, or something. Right? Yesterday we were at admin all day, so we couldn't have beer. But,
I know. Oh,
but
yeah.
I did order pizza, right?
Yeah.
So because we were workshopping, and so got pizza and got an entry into the raffle just that quick. And and I'm looking forward to seeing you in Jacksonville.
Looking forward to that as well. I'm actually very excited about that.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good time.
You're gonna be like me. That was my first convention too.
We all remember the first.
Yes.
Well, unfortunately, yes.
No comment.
So we're gonna, and obviously everybody chimes in as they want, but we're gonna move on to Seth and kind of. So I'll give a little background on Seth. Seth is an LT for Southern Manatee. Been there a while. Was there when Southern Manatee and Cedar Hammock were one, and then like 2 or 3 weeks out on the job, he gets a phone call that says you're now part of Southern Manatee Fire District, right?
Yeah, you're now reporting to Nico. What is that?
I call it one co.
One co. Nico.
Yeah, I call it one co, and has been with him ever since. And Seth was there before Union, right?
Yeah.
BU.
Yeah.
And now AU, right?
Yeah.
And saw and has been able to see the difference in culture and other things that go on in Southern Manatee. And then Seth was kind of the guy for Southern Manatee for a lot of years, like G was for Matt Seiler, the guy behind the guy helping out, right? And because of Southern size, was just kind of almost like a quasi unpaid steward helping out with negotiations and stepping in and all that stuff. For both in my time here, Derek Foss and then now Tim.
Yeah.
Yep.
And-
And Adam Chevalier,
Oh, that's
Oh,
right.
yeah,
And
yeah,
Chevy,
cool.
yeah.
Man,
Okay.
Chevy,
And
yeah.
then Chevy, yeah.
the original
The
DVP.
OG DVP.
The first
right?
DVP
There's
of
always
Southern
there-
Manatee.
Again, there's only one first, right?
That's it.
In their case, it was Chevy, and so then,
Still a union member, by the way. Promoted up.
well, good.
Admin member.
Well, I think
Die hard.
I think almost all of Southern's admin are union members.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That there's just something. Again, that whole admin was BU right before union,
Oh yeah.
and then saw what union does, and kept going right. So that's why, like Dan Anderson showed up to an event for Manatee County Commissioner, and now he's in the raffle, right? So Chief Anderson's in the raffle.
If he wins, we're gonna call it fixed. I'm it's rigged.
So Seth, I was actually at
Just kidding,
a
Chief.
peer support meeting, Manatee County peer support meeting. I try to, as you guys know, try to get out to as much as I can, and they invited me to their Manatee County peer support meeting, and so I just showed up just to sit there and hang and show support. And Seth hadn't been there, and came up and introduced himself and said, "Hey man, I want to be more involved, and this is kind of what I've been doing with Southern, and have a certain skill set, etc." And said, "Okay, come on by the office, let's talk about it." And then throughout that process, both Foss and Kaish reached out and said, "Hey man, dude, he's our dude. Like, give him a shot." Okay. because I was once upon a time that guy, right? Like Keith Tanner, my DVP, was like, "Hey man, this is my dude. Give him a shot," you know, and
And
so
you chugged it.
butt chugged it, butt chugged it.
2 hands.
Double fisting.
Yeah. So Seth came on initially as almost like a business agent apprentice, and now he's full blown. And we talked about it a little bit earlier. He's experiences his first what I call real negotiation, right?
Hell yeah,
welcome to the fucking big leagues, brother.
That's it. I love it. Love it.
A little different than fire district life, right? And
Yeah.
and he's trying to soak that in as much as possible.
Yeah. I'm going to say, though, when it's not your own department, it might make it a little easier to deal with. Just
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah, it does.
Because like,
You can well as
you
a
don't
guy,
take it as personal when they come
Yeah.
across the board. Like, what the hell are you doing?
and I can agree to that. Right? That's also why we kind of have business agents, right? So
Yeah, it's an
when-
advantage.
Yeah, when I was business agent for this local and assigned to a unit to help out with their contracts or whatever, you look through it in a almost business like way, right?
Yes,
Like,
you
hey,
have to. Yeah.
It's hey man, you can't take that to impasse because that's a right, manager right. You can't do this, you can't do that. You're just looking at it that way. Isn't the answer sometimes people want to hear,
Absolutely not.
but it is the answer they need to
That's-
hear, right?
that-
Unfortunately,
That's the thing. We're not gonna sugarcoat it for you. We'll
Yeah.
tell you the truth.
Yeah. I even have those conversations sometimes with DVPs. We're like, well, I'm going to do this and this. I'm like, no, you're not, because this is what's going to happen. And he's like, well, fuck that. And I'm like, well, I get your feelings.
Get it all the way now.
Yeah, I get your feelings, right? But from a business standpoint, this is how this works. So let's talk about some of your experiences, because in addition to coming on, you got to share in the trip to Tallahassee.
Yeah.
You got to share in the trip to DC this year.
Yeah.
right, to do some work in DC this year. Now with Sarasota County helping out there. So talk about all this shit you've kind of taken in a little bit.
Yeah. So I'd like to kind of start from the beginning. When I first experienced what a business agent was for Local 2546, and that was over 16 years ago, when Southern Manatee decided that we were going to become part of the union. And the business agent that ended up negotiating on our behalf, which was amazing to watch this guy in action, was our very own vice president, Rocco,
I knew that was coming.
of the FPF. I mean, the guy is an absolute legend. So I'm going to give a quick shout out to that guy because he's a freaking legend.
Yeah, well, he would be sitting in this spot if I could talk him into it. He actually tells me that he would do this job for $140,000 a year. And so that's why he doesn't do this job, right? But
Yeah.
Honestly, I begged and pleaded with him to say, hey, why don't you come home and run the local? I'll just be your business agent. And of course, that conversation lasted about 30 seconds. After he stopped laughing, he told me no. That son of a bitch.
And shout out to Rocco. The guy is an absolute brainiac, one of the smartest people in the business, and he's up there fighting on behalf of everybody in the state of Florida at the FPF. So when you're at these conventions and you see him, he's kind of a guy. He doesn't like to take the limelight. He's kind of in the background, but believe it, things are getting done because that guy's up there. So to kind of go back to him, I didn't know. I know we needed a union. I didn't really know what a union was. I know we voted for it. And so then when negotiations started, I was like, oh, I'm allowed to attend this? And so, so I came in person and I was just amazed. You know, we had a brand new DVP, which was Adam Chevalier at the time. We had a administration that did not want the union to come in. And so it was contentious. And we hadn't seen raises in years. During that time, and this was our time to actually have a seat at the table. And I don't know if guys really understand what that means, to have a seat at the table. If you've had any other job, if you worked anywhere else, I mean, you show up and they basically tell you, here's your job description, this is what you're going to do, this is how much you're going to get paid, and if you don't like it, you can get out. That's not how it works when you are represented by a union. And so it was awesome to be able to sit down, have a seat at the table, and from a collaborative standpoint, which is what we want. We want collaboration. We want both sides to work together to be able to come up with something that both sides can work with that's a benefit to the members is an awesome experience. And I just remember sitting there and I'm watching Rocco and he's negotiating and it's getting heated. And I said to myself, wow, for one, the DVP that just got put in, like his job's on the line. And a lot of people don't know about Adam Chevalier, but he almost, they tried to fire him.
Yeah.
And so he literally.
That's usually management 101 when it comes to unions. Get rid of the fucking leadership as soon as possible. Right?
It is.
Yeah.
And he put his kahunas on the line. Yeah. But what you need in these. Yeah. What you need in those situations is you need support. And so what was awesome about our local was the support that they provided as we were going union at that time. And to watch Rocco work alongside with the DVP, negotiating in a contentious atmosphere at that time was amazing. And I sat there and I thought about it for a minute. I was like, okay, Rocco has a full-time job. On his days off, he's choosing to come here and negotiate on our behalf for our benefits.
Which don't benefit him at all.
At all,
Yeah.
right? At all.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
And that, there's a lot to be said about that. Not only your DVP, not only your stewards, not only your guys that are there to support, but when the local brings in guys like that, it's a different set of eyes. The beautiful thing about it is, when your job's on the line or, you're the DVP, it's an interesting relationship that you have to have with your administration, with your union president, with the guys on the line. And it's a very fragile one, and it's one that you have to kind of like walk out and just be very strategic with. And so the cool thing about a business agent that I observed with my first time ever seeing it in play was that Rocco got to be the guy to be able to look across the table and say, no, we absolutely disagree. No, this is what we're wanting to do, and didn't have to worry that he was not going to have a job the next day. And to be able to bring in that firepower like that is something to be said. Our local, I'm just kind of segue from that for a minute. So that was my first experience of watching a business agent in action, and I never forgot that. And I said to myself, okay, I'm definitely going to be getting involved with this. And sometime down the road, if I ever have the opportunity, I would like to be able to give back the way Rocco did, because it was just amazing and it was selfless. It really was. And he brought a lot to the table. And we ended up with what I consider a good first contract, and he set the foundation for how we were going to move forward. And I think that's important. I bring that up because we're going to have two new units that are going to be joining. And so, they're going to go through the same process that I observed. And if those members are listening, I want you to know that the full, firepower of this local will be there to support you, help you with that first contract, get that first contract started, and, be glad that you voted yes. Be glad that we're coming in there, because it's not just going to be the new guy, the new DVP sitting there. You're going to have the president and everything that he brings with him, which is going to be a full force of what he decides he wants to bring.
I talked to the, obviously as we're going through that process, I talked to both the parish and DeSoto folks, throughout that, and just kind of, answer any questions he had. And a lot of times they ask, okay, what happens next, right? And it's like, well, you guys are going to get the full weight.
Yeah.
Your organization is going to feel the full weight of this organization.
And I'm pretty fucking heavy, bro.
Poor guy. I mean, the guy makes fat jokes about himself. I don't even have to do them, right?
Yeah.
So no, anyway. So
I love G. I love
they're So I tell them, like, listen, okay, you're going to elect a DVP, of course, and we understand that your DVP knows as much about this union stuff as nobody, right? And we're going to get them training, right? So you're going to see the parish and DeSoto folks with us in convention. I'm going to bring some classes in for everybody, of course, but they're going to attend to get some more training from our own legal and stuff like that. And but we're not going to just throw you in the deep end in the pool by yourself, right? That's not how we teach people to swim. All right, so they're going to get a business agent. maybe 2 of them, right? And then they're going to have our legal. They're going to have me as I can, right? Because, again, I need a clone machine, but as I can be there.
Facts. We need clones.
And they're organizations that we're going to be negotiating with. I mean, we've already laid out some, our legal and I have already laid out the framework of some of their contract stuff based on survey and some other things, right? We're sitting on go, right? And we're going to, for me, we have an e-board meeting on Monday. So this will probably be out before Monday the 11th, 10 o'clock. If you remember, come on by. Listen to what's going on.
Just forewarn about the parking. Just you do come.
Yeah.
They're going to be repaving the parking lot on Monday, parts of it, so the backside's not open for you to park.
Yeah. So Doug Huffman, who I know doesn't listen to this, will have to park in his normal spot. But anyway, so they're going to be here Monday, and we're going to start talking about that process and file for bargaining, get ready. But members come by Monday, 10 o'clock. Usually done by 11:30.
Mm-hmm.
Have lunch, hang out with your bros. We have the bar, right? I have between Parish, Punta Gorda, and then Sarasota County. I have a few meetings after that, but I'll be around to hang out with everybody. And Parish is getting ready to do this, and I got Danny Felico, my most experienced business agent to them because. And he also lives in Parish, which is a fucking bonus.
Yeah.
He can,
And he's a rock star.
yeah, and he can, negotiate and then go home, like 10 minutes down the road. In fact, if I really want to get ballsy, I'll have them run for one of their commission spots, and I'll have a business agent in their fucking on their fireboard. So, but we'll see how that works out. but anyway, so, but yeah, and. We're not, like Seth said, Rocco was the dude, like much like Seth. I was a steward for my unit, Longbow Key. I was my DVP's right hand man. I have a background. I have a degree in finance and economics. I could do spreadsheets and pretty good at math and all that other stuff. At least back in the day. Now I rely on people to do math for me or my calculator on my
You've
phone.
moved on, brother.
Yeah, I've moved on to different things, but I can still do math, right? 2 + 2 = 6. And
Did you say 6 or? I never mind.
so very similar to Seth's experience. We were going through a bad contract at Longbow Key. We were in a 175 plan. They wanted to strip us of our pension, put us all in a 401A, which the cops and general employees agreed to. We did not. We fought them for 2.5 years, and they ultimately put us in FRS. And to this day, we are still the only ones with pensions. And I remember, Merv, president at the time, sent Rocco down to help us. So we had Rocco and Jim, and me and Keith Tanner at the table, and Jeff Bullock was there too. And the 5 of us sitting across this fucking army of lawyers and shit trying to fucking destroy our pensions and everything else. And I remember sitting there watching Rocco and Jim work, and I was like, in watching Rocco, and the way he just was very calm about citing a state statute to the 113.246 says you can't blah 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 blah. And I was like, what the fuck, dude? Like, how's that guy store this in his head, right? Doug Huffman from Bradenton and Rocco worked at Bradenton. They call each other their hetero life partners, right? Because Rocco and Doug.
Doug's another legend, by the way.
Yeah. Rocco and Doug worked together for a lot of years at Bradenton, and then on the contracts at Bradenton. And I remember Doug telling me stories, a story about Rocco, and they would get in an argument. He's like, "Hey, listen, dude, I know what you know too, but I just can't remember as well as you can." And I'm like, I know how the fuck Doug feels, right? Because I remember mine. I'm like, I know that, but I just can't. I know, at least I know where to find it. Like on my phone, I'm like, oh shit, no, that's in a state statute somewhere. And you just search for a second, But Rocco just has it stored here, right? And as our FBF vice president. Our current president, Wayne Bernie from City of Orlando. I tell Bernie all the time he has the worst work wife in life. and ever in life, right? Having Rocco as your work wife is the worst, probably, right? Because Rocco's telling him every day how much he's wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I know Bernie listens to this once in a while. He's probably chuckling. He's like, "Yep, I do."
It's a good problem to have too, though.
It is.
Yeah.
Listen, I remember there was a conversation once in Tallahassee, and Merv and I were talking to somebody about Rocco, and we were, all of us were there, just literally like, he's the only guy we know on earth who can. I mean, we're firemen, right? We're not, and that can do what he does at the level that he does. Right?
Yeah.
Machine.
So continue on, Seth, about some of your other experiences.
Yeah. So yeah, that was the first exposure that I had to a business agent. So I just take that moment to say, if you're wanting to get involved with your union, I would say the first part is to start with your department. Go to your DBP and be like, hey man, how can I help? How can I help assist? Because it's a thankless job. If you're doing it for the glory and the thank yous, it's not going to happen ever.
That's the
Really.
goddamn truth.
I've had a couple in my time, but that's where you want to show your involvement, your dedication, and it's like the learning grounds, because you it's not about the money. It's not, because definitely not about the money. It's not about getting the thank yous or anything like that. At the end of the day, the gratification is when you sign that contract and now it is law that you did something, and you don't need to thank you after that, because what ends up happening after that contract is everything has to get followed, and that actually impacts you. So I tell people, hey, if you want to get involved, start with your department, start with your DVP. And my department was small. I did not for over 15 years. I helped negotiate contracts. I filled in for the DVP when he was on vacation. I helped out when I could. Didn't make any money. I could care less about the money. It was just a matter of fact of, are we improving our contract every single time we go to negotiate? And the impact of improving your contract has a big impact on all the other contracts around you. And so what you're doing, even though you don't get a thank you, it's absolutely huge, because you're not only impacting yourself, your members, your department, but you're impacting everybody else in the local, because they're all looking at your contracts. And not only are you impacting everybody in your local, you're impacting everybody in the state of Florida, because we all have access to that. And to kind of fast forward, I always kind of put in the back of my head, I was like, man, if I ever get an opportunity to do that, that would be awesome. So I'd say, hey, start there. And then, like Jason said, so Phil Vets, if you look at leaders, everybody kind of does their thing, and they kind of put a stamp on it, right? And so the fact that we're sitting in this building, we're talking in front of these microphones, the fact that we're able to do this, I'll go back to Phil, but like this building, this remodel, everything that happened here, that was kind of like one of his visions, and it happened. And I was just here this week. We were working on a contract. Me and the DVP sort of working on some stuff. Somebody came in from the door. They were from out of state, and they said, "We heard about your union hall. We want a tour." And our president gave them a quick tour, and that says something. The fact that they came here to check out our union hall, and this is an unbelievable place. It's amazing how many times I talk to members. Have you ever been there? They're like, no. And I'm like, okay. All of us firemen, we're kind of cut from the same cloth. So just let me start with my sales pitch, which will be this. We have the most badass bar ever. It's fully stocked. And all those member dues that you bitch about, guess what? You can go step up at the bar and have something freaking to drink.
Yeah, for free.
And it's your freaking drink.
And I can
So-
actually back that up right now. Today was
Yes.
my first time in the hall. It was
Yes.
it was an awesome union hall. Like, you show
Awesome.
up.
Dude,
It's an
I-
open door policy.
What floor are you on right now?
The second floor.
I believe the second floor.
Multi-floor,
Multi-floor.
multi-story,
Yeah.
ordinary construction.
But no, honestly, it's super easy, like you were saying, to get involved. Start off with your local union. I know I had that conversation with Chad, and here I am today.
Yeah.
And we have an awesome union hall. We have great people that are a part of the membership. And like Jason said, there's no ranks here. Everyone's,
Yeah.
we're all brothers. If
Yeah.
you have questions about anything,
That's
let me know.
exactly what I say when I go teach a new guys. Like, listen, when I'm here in a uniform, okay, you can call me by my rank. But
Yeah, we get it.
Yeah.
Like we,
off duty,
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just G, maybe.
Yeah. So, you know, quick shout out to Phil, quick shout out to this building.
Well, that was a vision, right? And
You haven't
and,
been here.
and G was a steward at the time, and I was actually on the board as a DVP, and we, Merv was president, but Phil was the treasurer, right? And he was and Phil had this vision for. We were in the other building on the other side, and it was kind of like, hey man, we're getting to the point where we're kind of outgrowing this, and we have this other building, right? And we're going to start really trimming down what we're spending to save to build this place out and make this our forever home, right?
Yeah.
And that was just really his vision with that, and probably before it's all said and done, we'll have to name this the fucking Phil Vet's compound or something, right? But that was Merv and Phil together, and then Phil when he became president, we moved in here right after Phil became president, middle of his first term, and every time we have a thing here, I try to get them here. Sometimes they can get here, sometimes they can't. But I make sure everybody understands that this facility that we live and work in now, and the place I get to be in. Okay, so we went through some times. Like we were trying again saving money and doing this and doing all this other stuff. Made some great financial decisions that now allow me as president of this local to do some other things. Right, build out our staff, create a podcast room. Create a communications team, stuff that our members were asking for, right? Because we have the resources we have, we're allowed to do these things, right?
Well, speaking of those financial decisions, and newer members don't know this, but we own this building outright.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we were able to do all this because of their smart decisions at no dues increase to our members.
Yep. Absolutely. And you'd be amazed.
Which that is huge. Just take that for one moment and think about that for a second. Your dues did not increase because I know every time you get a contract, every time you get a raise, they increase.
Yeah.
They did not increase when we built this badass building.
No.
So just think about that for a minute.
You'd be amazed. So obviously in my position, both at the local and then throughout the state, you'd be amazed how many, maybe not our size because we're one of the bigger ones now, but you'd be amazed how many locals are in a building they're renting, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're paying money.
We're the second biggest in Florida, right?
So if you're just going by IAFF stuff, that would be Dade, Palm Beach,
We're fourth.
Fourth.
Jacksonville, and us. If you're going by IAFF, FPF third. And we confirmed that because we just got we know how many delegates we have. Miami-Dade not being an FPF, that's that deal. But
Moving on.
yeah, you'd be amazed how many locals don't have their own building, like they're renting office space kind of deal. Or they don't even have office space. They just do their fucking member meetings in a restaurant or something, right? And hope people show up. To have this, when we bring, as you know, as a political guy, when we bring candidates in here and we say, hey, this is where we're at, and they walk in this place and we show them all the shit we have and all the shit we do,
Yeah.
it weighs on them. Oh, fuck, these guys are
For real.
legit.
Well, when they come to our holiday functions too, and it's
Yeah.
like, oh man, there's a lot of state representatives in this room.
Yeah.
There's a lot of power in here. And
Yeah. I mean,
Are we sure we're in the right place?
yeah, shit. Even when we have our inauguration, inauguration parties, we have shindigs here, and we'll have 5 or 6 state reps and 5, 6 or 7, 8 county commissioners from each counties and council members, and I mean, they show up, right? It's definitely, again, good to go back to what we were talking about. Those two together, right? That was the brain trust, and they had DJ Seiler with them in the secretary position. The brain trust at that time, just put me and G in a great position to lead this local into the future. So very thankful for those two,
Yeah.
or those three rather. But
Yeah, and to kind of keep building on that, with this building, with everything that we've done, so you had Phil, and when I think of Phil, I think of grateful. We have this building, and this was like what he put his mark on. And then now we fast forward to Jason, and
boy,
in the back of my head, right in the back of my head, I saw Rocco, and then I was like, you know what? I had observed Jason before he took this role. I observed him when he was on the board as a business agent, and you would hear his name a lot. And the amount of hours that Jason had put in as a business agent was just one aspect. And then now you also have the political side. And people, they have natural giftings, they have natural niches in life. And if you understand what your talents are and you're able to utilize those, some people go through life and they don't even know what their talents are. But if you happen to realize, like, okay, I have these gifts, I have these talents, and this is what I'm going to focus my time on, it can actually be a powerful thing. And so Jason is what I like to call the hybrid. So I hadn't really seen a hybrid before, because I talked about Rocco, and when I talk about Rocco, I'd say he's a pure business agent. I wouldn't say he's also the best political liaison of all time, right? So when I think of Jason, I think of hybrid. So I think of business agent, and I think of the political. He understood the political side of this game. And no mistake, our Constitution, right, and everything that we love of our freedom, you're not getting anything done unless you're involved in politics. And to understand how that operates, to understand the energy of what that takes, to understand how that plays out, that is a unique skill set, one that you have to spend a lot of time in to develop. And so when I saw Jason and he took this spot, I was like, okay, all right, now I'm at a time in my life where I'm like, hey, if there's a way I could support Jason in this local, if there's anything I can do. And when I sat down with Jason, I said, Jason, listen, man, I'll do anything, man. Just throw me in. I don't need to get paid anything, nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, he's looking at me like, what? And
he's not wrong. He did say that.
I'm like, dude, just deploy me wherever you need me. And I saw what was Jason was doing, and as I got involved, I was like, wow. So then, each leader, they do something and then they build upon it, right? And so with our current president, Jason, right now, what Jason has done is now he has taken what he learned as a business agent, as a hybrid, and now he's deploying it as a president. And I just want to touch on him as building these teams out, right? We have political liaisons now, completely dedicated to the politics. We have business agents. We have our executive staff. I mean, without G, the amount of work that G has to do in his office, I mean, it's like you walk by and G's in there, and I'm like, good God, I've never seen so many trees killed in my life. I've never seen so many computer monitors.
Yeah, our paper budget is growing by the day. That's for sure.
I bought a stand-up
It's freaking over.
monitor thing from him.
Yeah.
He had so many of them. He's like, I go, that's cool. I got more. All right, I'll take one.
It's overwhelming, and then you're like, wow, like this guy, works a full-time job, and he's doing this. Or Johnny, taking care of the books. I was like, everybody has a role. And so what I appreciate about Jason is like he said, he loves it when new blood comes in. He loves it when, some people are natural teachers, natural mentors. And so, I just want to give a shout out to Jason. I appreciate the opportunity that he allowed me to come on and actually learn from him. I learn from him every single time I'm with him. And
he does, because like yesterday at Sarasota County negotiations, we were at a break or something, and I said something, and I forget, somebody was like, "Oh man, that's actually a good idea." And I turned around and winked at Seth. I was like, "It's almost like I've done this before." right? You know? And so it's like, I know, I'm still learning. I got it, you know?
Yeah, and one thing you learn is like the thing you love to do and the thing you're natural at and the gifts are, what I've learned is you can't turn it off. And so what I mean by that is, you know, not every president sits in on negotiations. And so I go back to the hybrid thing and, you know, Jason's doing the political stuff, right? But he's also, and I hope the members appreciate this, he's also currently involved in your negotiations
And everything.
he has a pulse.
Everything.
He has a pulse on it, right? And so I didn't know I was going to have the opportunity to be able to sit with Jason in negotiations, and so that's been an awesome opportunity for me.
I think it's more, you know, I've always taken it as, you know, last year I was with Venice, right, and in Charlotte for their. So I can't be everywhere at once, right? I can't be at everybody's negotiations, and I get that. You know, when I was business, I've negotiated Northport's last 2 contracts. I have a great connection with those guys. You know, as stuff pops up, I try my best to kind of identify the major problems because that's where I need to be, right? Southern Manatee was doing a contract last year. I knew I needed to be there. Dan Anderson, their chief, fucking rock star for us, right? And
Shout out,
yeah,
he is
and,
a rock star.
yeah, and still pays full dues as a fucking fire chief, right?
Yep.
And
Pro union.
yeah, and so I'm like, I'll just send Danny, right? Like Danny has that handle, no problem, right? And he got to share some time with Danny. He got to experience what Danny Felico brings to this organization, and
Which is a lot, by the way.
so same thing. Like some of the, you know, a lot of the Manatee County departments, they kind of have their systems already. You know, like I'm not sending a business agent to Bradenton because Doug Huffman has Rocco Salvatore as his personal business agent, right? So I'm not fucking messing with that at all, right?
Yeah, they just tell me like, "Hey, send me the thing so I can get my contract done."
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Here you go, bro.
we barely know they're in contract, right?
Yeah, Doug's like, "Hey, wait a minute, like, bro, you're Doug. I don't.
Yeah.
You don't have to. Just tell me what the fuck you want. I'll send it to you."
yeah, I don't touch Bradenton at all.
Can we use them as a comparable?
I don't touch Bradenton at all, and haven't for years because and none of us have because Doug and Rocco have had that handled, right? And up in North River is another case. Like they're getting ready for contract, and I was talking to somebody about that, and they were like, "Hey man, yeah." It was a brother from East Manatee, and he said that he had talked to Rod Griffin, and he's like, "Hey man, aren't you guys up for contract this year?" Because East Mantee's in contract, and they're running a little bit of problems. And he's like, "Aren't you guys in contract this year?" And Rod's like, "Yeah." And he's like, "When do you guys get to start?" And he's like, "I don't know, like June or July." And he's like, "Isn't your contract up in October?" And he's like, "Yeah, dude, it's gonna take like 2 meetings." You know, because their chiefs are
all members.
are all members as well, right? And like they've already figured out what this is going to take. They're going to get in there. They're going to dot the I's and cross the T's, and 2 or 3 meetings later submit it to the fire commission for vote, right? And so I'm not going to send a business agent there, right? There's no reason for that, right? And you know, I'm not going to waste anybody's time, right? And so like this year, our biggest contract is Sarasota County,
Yeah.
right?
Biggest group in our local.
Because we have North River, we have Cedar, right? So Danny's helping Cedar, right? So my senior business agent's helping Cedar. We're opening up Parish, right? So Danny's going to help a Parish. Brad Sang, our other business agent, obviously he's committed to Sarasota County, and Seth's learning how the other half lives right now, right? So, but I'm going to be there. Like I was there for Venice. I was there for you guys. Like I try to identify like where's the problem child, almost like not you know, for lack of a better term, like that's going to be the one, and then say, okay, I'm going to be there. And it's listen, you know, per our bylaws, the DVP controls that unit, right? That's his deal. I know my lane, right? My lane's of ice, you know, and
clout. Bring some clout when you're sitting at the table.
Support.
you know, our DVP in Sarasota County is doing an excellent job, right?
Tim Baker.
Tim works his fucking ass
off.
Yeah, I mean,
He has no ass.
Pretty much. He walks with a limp because he works his ass off so much.
poor man can't even sit down, right? Because it hurts. because he has no ass left, right? So, no, him, Sang, Haslam, Gillum, Roderick, that team he's built, they work their butts off.
Yeah.
And Seth and I are there to assist, right? Because they are our big deal this year, right? So then next year, it's going to be somebody different, right? I know Northport and Longboat are up next year. I don't know who else is up next year, but I'll identify the one that's, there and go from there, right? And, I think the biggest, and I appreciate what Seth has to say about me. I don't really buy into a lot of this. I think he's just trying to bullshit me so I can
No.
give him a pay raise or
I
something.
don't need
No,
a
kidding.
pay.
He don't care about the money.
It's education, man. Because a lot of people, they don't know. What I've learned is a lot of people don't know.
Yeah, and I had a great bunch of mentors in life. I really have, and they teach you things throughout. And in this union game, for me, it actually started 04, 05. Well, actually, when I became a union member, but then 04 or 05, had a guy named Marlon Ellis who was my engineer at Orange County, and was our battalion rep at the time in Orange County. And I remember I had been on a couple weeks, and he came. I was sitting at the kitchen table one morning, and he came up to me. He sat down. He's like, "Hey, I noticed you got a union sticker on your car." I said, "Yeah." He's like, "So you signed up for the union?" I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "What's that mean?" I'm like, "I don't fucking know." I was like, I
thought it was cool, bro.
Yeah, I just wanted the fucking sticker so I can get out of a
told
ticket.
me to.
Right? Hoping I can get out of a ticket kind of deal. Fuck, I got a fireman sticker on my thing. Yay, He's like, "Hey, so we were working, I don't know, whatever day it was. Let's say it was a Monday. A union meeting tomorrow night. You going?" I was like, "I don't even know where it's at." He's like, "Where do you live?" And I was like, "I live in Winter Park." And he's like, "Write your address." He pulls it. He always kept a little tablet in his, because he was our medic on our engine. Kept a little tablet in his back pocket. He's like, "Write your address down there. Meeting's at 7. I'll be at your house at 6. Fucking wrote my address down, picked me up at 6. We drove all the way out to OBT in Orange County where we were at.
Oh boy.
And and boom, I was at a union meeting, and
For those unfamiliar, Orange Blossom Trail. If you wanna know what
yeah.
Great place.
Great place for traffic.
So, and boom, I was at a union meeting, right? Our president at times, Jason Brown, Andre Perez who was a longtime president of Orange County, was just secretary, I think, at the time. Lori Sweeney was there. I think either Perez was treasurer and Sweeney was secretary, or vice versa. We had Daryl McChrystal.
Oh, I know that name.
Yeah, he was our VP, and walked in. Sergeant at Arms checked my name and made sure I was a member, because I was fucking barely there, right? And walked in. They had a bar. You can have 2 beers prior to the meeting. So I had probably a beer and a half. That meeting went on, hour and a half. Sat down afterwards with Marlon and a few of the guys, and I was hooked. And that was mentor one, and got me involved in doing some things for Orange County, and was there before I came over here. So when I leave Orange County and come here to Longboat, I'm thinking, all right, well, whatever, I'm just starting over, right? And we were there 6 months. I was there 6 months. Longboat Key decided they were going to try to raise our insurance premium 1,600%, so we filed for bargaining. And I was sitting at the table one day, and our DVP, Keith Tanner, came down to the station on his way home and said, "Hey, man, you got a minute to talk?" I said, "Sure, sir." And he's like, "Hey, I heard you have a background in finance." I said, "I do." And he's like, "I heard you're a union guy." I said, "I am." He's like, "I need help on this bargaining for this insurance stuff." I said, "Well, I'm still on probation. Is that going to be a problem?" And he said, "No, Chief Hallis," or our chief was at the time,
Good man.
told me to come talk to you.
Another legend.
Yeah. I said, "Well, if Chief's good with it, I'm good with it." And before I knew it, I was a fucking steward, and we successfully bargained that 1,600% down to way less than that. We were trying to raise our biweekly contribution from $7 to $160. We got them down to $42, right? So reasonably. and again was hooked in. And we had a contract and coming up, and that was our battles, right? We went right into battle mode because we had a commission come in. That was part of the insurance problem. Was the commission was like, well, we're gonna fuck these employees over. And
Yeah, that was the golden era to
Yeah.
start.
Yeah.
If you wanted to learn how to do it the hard way,
Yeah.
start at that time.
yeah,
Hey, guy,
and
come here.
yeah, and we fought, right? And 2.5 years later, we got the resolution we did, and at that point, I was like, I mean, I had no ambition to be here at that time. In fact, I still don't, but but here I am. And,
You're not allowed to leave.
however, I was hooked in forever in this union, and that I was going to do something positive to work this place forward. So Seth, you went to Tally for your first time this year, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that was an awesome experience. That was the politics side of things. When you look at it starts with your contract, right? You got your contract, and then you get your raises, and you get all your benefits, everything you negotiate. And then we call that the micro level. The macro level is what's happening in the state of Florida. That's what's happening with the politics up in Tallahassee. And if you don't have a political engine, the FPF, your local, your political liaisons, if you don't have that in place, nothing gets done, meaning everything we all know as American citizens is that what gets voted on is what's law, right? And so there are bills that get put together on our behalf for our benefit. The only way that happens is if we are involved. And so when you go to Tallahassee, that's a moment of when you get to meet all of your congressmen, your senators from the state of Florida. You get to talk to them face to face, let them know, hey, this is what's pressing. You're organized with your FPF. This is what we're working on. This is what we're pushing for. And the result of that is when you get these firefighter cancer bills, heart and lung bills, that is the result of that. So if that all doesn't happen, none of these things to support you throughout your career post-retirement take place. It just doesn't happen. So there's a lot that I learned on the political side that happens behind the scenes every single day, and it starts in your county, and it starts with your county commissioners, it starts with your mayors, right? And then it builds to your state representatives, your state senators, and then it builds even from there to the positions of them that hold power in Tallahassee to make things happen, right? And so you may have one of those people in power that are in your own county that represent you. And so they want to see your face. And so, the squeaky wheel gets the grease, right? Like it's putting yourself out there, meeting them, networking with them. That's what gets these bills passed. And so if you don't hear from them, if you're not bringing this to them, if you're not fighting for it, if you're not there putting the work in, putting the time in, it was awesome. We walk in, Jason let us in, and it was just amazing. We would sit down with our local representatives that are representing us in Tallahassee. First question they would say is, what can we do for you guys? What are the pressing issues that you all have? And then there was a huge group of us, right? And then Jason would let them know, these are the things that we're working on. These are the things that are important to our members. And for them to hear that, right, that was amazing in person. And so those are things you can't deny. You read something, you're like, oh, okay, but you make it tangible in person like that. That was an amazing experience.
And that's also part of very grateful. So I could have all the ideas I want in the world. However, I have to have support for that, right? And our executive board supports the shit out of me for some fucking reason. I don't know why, those crazy sons of bitches. But one of the things I wanted to bring to 2546 when I took over was the opportunity, at least through the budgetary process, for more involvement, like bringing more people to these events.
Yeah.
And so when you fill a room, as Fabrice saw for the first time this year, and Seth saw for the first time this year, and River saw for the first time this year, when you fill a room full of firefighters from different organizations from back home, right, 20 deep.
Yeah.
I mean, when we were in Danny Nix's office, I think we were all going nut to butt in that place, right, because it was so tight.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, some of you were nut to butt.
some of us were nut to nut. No, but like you load that place up with
I was trying to go night to thigh, but whatever.
When you load that place up with firefighters from home, right? It resonates with them that, hey, oh, shit, and we had firefighters from a lot of our different organizations. We had chiefs there, right?
Mm-hmm.
We had North River chiefs there, right? We had Southern Manatee chiefs there,
Yeah.
right? We try our best to bring different chiefs every year. We bring a couple sets of chiefs every couple of years. We had Cedar Hammock. We've had different chiefs up there throughout the years.
North River.
Well, yeah,
Pass,
but even so
We said we have
Rampino and then now Sicking, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I think we should clarify the good ones. I remember Jason saying, he's like, I only bring good fire chiefs with me.
Yeah, I don't bring the assholes, right? That's
But
actually
everybody-
that's what I said to you.
Yeah.
Right? Let's
Everybody
be
has an
real.
opportunity to be a good chief, though.
Yeah, that's the truth. I don't bring assholes to fucking Tallahassee, right? I don't want to hang out with a bunch of guys I don't want to hang out with, right? So, but no, yeah, you're right. It really resonates with our electeds. Like you're doing a great job doing it. Kim will always, when she's in that county commission seat, as we're going to put her in there, she's always got to think about Charlotte County firefighters, and she's going to think about you two and others that she's connected with throughout this process. And so when difficult decisions come, because right now we're living in okay times, but for us, like G and I, who and Mike and others who have been around for a while, there were some difficult times. I mean, you guys at Sharko gave up money to keep guys gainfully employed for a minute, right?
Yeah, that was 10%.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Fuck.
They
Even
gave back
more.
10%.
Yeah, to keep layoffs from happening. I went without a step or COLA raise for 7 years, right? When those tough times come, the ability to have those conversations doesn't have a price tag on it. And Kim and others are going to, every time they think about a tough decision, they're going to think about you and how that's going to affect you and your family, right? And Mike's family, and Chad and his family, right? It makes it, I tell people all the time, people can say no to firefighters. People can say no to unions. Make it real hard. I try to make it hard as possible to make him say no to Jason. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Don't give all your secrets out.
Yeah. We call him the Godfather.
I'm just gonna say this because I've been holding my powder on that one. Brothers and sisters, it doesn't have to be that you participate just because you're going to take some kind of leadership role here either.
Yeah.
Get involved just so you learn and you understand. Because one, participation helps us do our job easier, like they keep saying. But two, then you're going to also understand what your dues go to, what is going on here, and why it benefits you. And then if you want to have to thank anybody, you thank yourself because you participate. At the end of the day, this is a members up organization. There's a reason we survey you.
Yeah.
Reason we keep asking you what you want, because we're trying to do the things that you want. The only thing we get out of it is what everybody else gets. Whatever department we work for, whatever gets in that contract, that's all I get for that.
Yeah.
That's what I tell members. It doesn't say G gets this and you don't. That's never what it says. It says you are in this rank, that's what you get. Everybody else gets that too. Period.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We talked about that a little bit yesterday at Sarasota
And then we're
County.
going to give you raffle shit.
Yeah, we talked at Sarasota County yesterday about some of the insurance issues, right? And we're a members up organization. The members of Sarasota County have spoken loud and clear to me what their priorities are, right? And I take that shit in. That's I said that at the table. I have one set of bosses, and it's the members, right? They're the only ones who can overrule me, right? And if you look at our bylaws, that's the way it works, right? And so they have spoken loud and clear. And listen, I get no benefit from all the work I'm going to have to put in to make that happen.
Absolutely.
However, I mean personal benefit. However, I do get personal benefit because I get to see them thriving, doing better, right? And in a roundabout way, telling the county to fuck off. But that's just me personally. But you know, like if that's what they want, then that's what we're going to do. That's what we're here for, right? And when people come to that stuff, you know, when we work on COLAs or heart lung or cancer benefits or this and that and everything, yes, of course I have a little personal vested interest in that. Thankfully, I've never had to use any of those benefits.
Don't want to either.
Yeah. Now I've had brothers and sisters who've had to do so, and it makes me sleep well at night knowing that we worked so damn hard.
Yes, we did. We all did.
To get that shit done, so that they don't have to worry about that shit, right? And that's part of. I mean, that's all very awesome about that process.
Yeah, and to kind of piggyback. So this is I was trying to think like, okay, so we've talked about like, okay, how you can get involved, right? So we understand some firemen, they're slam busy. A lot of firemen, they have second jobs, they own businesses, they own companies. So with that being said, I would like to kind of segue into an analogy. And I kind of shared this with Jason. So for all you business owners out there, imagine this. Imagine that you own a company and that company has 1,600 employees. And out of that 1,600 employees, you have to have a staff that's going to support those 1,600 employees. So we're going to call those employees members of Local 2546. So, I mean, imagine what you would need to be able to do that. So what this operation runs off of to be able to support 1,600 members, 14 different fire departments over multiple counties, fourth largest, as he said, in the IFF, state of Florida, third largest in the FPF, you would need a significant amount of personnel full time. So if we break it down, from the nerd, here's the business agent nerd part of me, right? If we break that down, what do we have? We have our president, we have our secretary G, we have our treasurer, Johnny, and then we'll have 14 DVPs, we have their stewards, we have 3 business agents, and that's what we have. Every single one of those people that I just mentioned have full-time careers working in the fire department, and they're doing this on their days off to support this 1,600 member organization. So what I would like to say is if you're the guy that doesn't have time, here's what you can do. Some departments it's automatic where you have to give union pull time. Some departments it's voluntary. And so guys like me, guys like G, guys like Jason, we all to get this organization the full support that it needs, it takes time. Sometimes it takes time. Sometimes events happen when we're on duty. And when we're on duty, we need union pull time. And union pull time is donated from all of you members. And so if you're just too busy to do anything, we would like to say we're grateful and we're always open to you donating that union pull time. So that is a way you can give back. That union pull time could be as simple as 2 hours, could be as simple as 4 hours, but those 4 hours go a long way. And I'll just bring that analogy back to Rocco, where I said, wow, Rocco's doing this on his day off. And Rocco had to negotiate some deals when he was on duty. And guess how he did that? He did that with union pull time. And I want to bring that back to that the City of Bradenton Fire Department donated their time for Rocco to negotiate on Southern Manatee Fire Department. And it happens where I have to use union pull time. Danny has to use union pull time. Brad has to use union pull time. Jason, we have to use that time to be able to negotiate on behalf of some of our brothers. We have to use it sometimes for political events. And so guys ask, I've heard guys ask, well, my 4 hours is worth money. My vacation time is worth money at a payout. Yeah, it is worth money. And guess what? Guess what it takes to run this organization? It takes a lot of time, right? And we're doing it with the personnel that we have. So I would just like to throw in there, if you're like, how can I give back? we appreciate the union pull time.
I mean, even so much as, I mean, that, yeah, absolutely, right? And then even, like me, I work for a smaller department, so even union time pool is limited, right? And I have a DVP too, right? But when I put out for swaps, right?
Yeah.
Pick up a fucking swap and listen, in my case, like most of the time I need a week off. I need the weekdays off, right, to do work. And I'm willing to work the weekends because my wife works a weird schedule and we, whatever. Pick up a swap for your guy. I mean, in Bradenton, a lot of times what they do, sometimes guys are like, hey man, I'm not going to go out and go door to door, but I'll hold over for you.
Well, you could go door to door.
And you go door to door, right? Like just
Yeah.
you pitch in those little ways.
Yes.
Like, hey man, I can, this or whatever, but I'll work, till 2. So you
Yeah.
can go door to door and have lunch, kind of deal. And there's 100 different ways to do it, right? And
It's little, but also remember,
It's big.
we're putting pull time into it. Just
yeah.
Yeah, we are
it's
too.
not like we're not asking for something we're not doing ourselves.
No. But you'd be surprised. Like my department is voluntary, right? And so, like we ask, and then guys, I've heard comments. I've heard comments like, "Well, why am I giving up my time for you to help another department?" I'm like, because for one, we're in the brotherhood. 2, we're all in the same local, and we all benefit. Each contract builds the next contract, so we benefit from somebody else getting a better contract than we have to negotiate the next contract. I was like, so that little act of service of just the 2 hours to 4 hours to swap. I mean, I'll send out, I need an emergency swap within this amount of time so I can attend this event. Huge, right? So I just wanted to make that a point that you can give back in other ways, swaps, donating your time, union pull time, but just kind of wanted to touch on that a little bit.
All right. Well, thank you.
Yep.
And thank you for the unnecessary kind of words you said about me. I don't really, I never really, I know a lot of brothers and sisters think highly of me, and I appreciate that. At the same time, I'm not doing for any recognition.
We know that.
I love what I do.
Yep.
We're going to work into my man over here.
Who saved my life, by the way.
Yeah. Mike McNeely.
For real people. He saved
And
my
talk about some Charco politics. So I'm going to lay out the landscape, and then you're going to kind of fill in the blanks, right? So in Charlotte County this year, got multiple different things going on. Obviously, U.S. Congressional District 17, which covers all of Charlotte County, currently held by Congressman Stubbe, which we have endorsed. So that's a quick and obvious thing to pick up and easy for us, right? But then we get all politics is local, right? That's what they kind of say. Got a couple Charco races this year, commission races, very important to us. One incumbent that we've endorsed, one newcomer to the scene, kind of, right? She's on the school board, so she's not exactly new, but we've endorsed against an incumbent, right? And so that's a big race. And then we've got some city of Punta Gorda races, and we're going to talk about those, but then I'm going to flip my switch on that one. But go ahead and start it. Lay out the land work for us. The framework
Okay,
for us.
big year, big election year, right? Real quick, Charlotte County, Englewood, Punta Gorda, that's the political liaison territory I have. So any election processes that are going on in that area, I'll be requesting people to help, right? And so that could be as much as putting up signs, taking down signs, moving signs, showing up to events, fundraisers, just putting our IAFF stamp on the location, because everything is of benefit to us when they see us, like we've been talking about. And so, yeah, we have our House reps, Danny Nix and Vanessa Oliver, both are up for re-election this year.
Yeah, and so Danny Nix. Yeah, we can go. Well, first of all,
Danny boy.
we love both of them, but
Yeah.
We do.
and you can.
Danny's just got badass boots that he wears in Tallahassee.
It does, and so you can check this out. Like if you have any question on what's going on with that, you can go onto the Charlotte County Supervisor election site. and check
Oh
that shit out with
yeah, that's all over there. All the dates and times, and
Yeah.
you know the deadlines for things, and who's running and who your opponents are. But Vanessa and Danny are our people.
Yeah. So Vanessa has a primary and general opponent, and Danny currently has just a general election opponent, a Democrat. So,
Right, primary is the one that we really kind of look at, where we need a lot more involvement.
why? Because Charlotte County's red.
Because it's
be real.
1/3 is Democrat, 2/3 is Republican.
Yeah, Charlotte County's red,
So-
right? So when Mike says that, right, just to help the members understand what we're talking about, right? What primaries and generals mean, right? So primary, you're going against people in your party. Mm-hmm. General, you're going against people in the other party, right? When 2/3 of a party reside in a county, in case of Charlotte County, 2/3 are Republican, 1/3 is Democrat. Generally, not all the time, but 98.684% of the time, whatever the hell it is, the primary is where the fucking race is, right? Because whoever wins the primary becomes a Republican ticket, and then they win 60-40, right?
Yep.
And so, in the cases of Charlotte County, which includes Danny and Vanessa, in Vanessa's case, because she has a primary opponent, that's where the race is.
Right, and that's in August. But
Yeah.
yeah, primary's in August. So what does that mean? That means definitely the day of the primary we'll be needing people. Last year, I think
August
we had-
18th.
Yeah, we had somewhere between 50 and 60 people show up. We had the 10 top polling locations, and we'll continue to do that.
And we got tents this time.
Yeah,
Yeah, that I found on the street.
we got plenty of swag.
We got swag. We got tents.
swag, and I'm telling you,
You get involvement raffle tickets.
yeah,
right?
get,
All
get
the
in
shit.
on it
Get all the
because
shit.
they need to know who we are. It makes it that much better. And oddly enough, I mean, the community loves it too. They love to know who we support because they support us so much. So it's a benefit all around. And but of course, it does require some time. And I put together a pretty good organization of that time, and then I'll be sending out the requests. And what I'm asking is for people to participate. And the funny thing, and I was just talking about this earlier with Fabrice, was if he can't make it, turn to the people next to you and say, hey, there's an event coming. I can't make it, but I need someone to represent us here, and just kind of get that continued because, his relationships are different than my relationships. And, in the end, if we have different genres, different ages, different sexes involved, but all IAFF, it's just amazing the impact you can make. And I think that was seen in Teseo's race where he barely squeaked by,
Yeah.
and Constance won, by I would call it a good landslide for his last election.
But each
but-
one's different, right?
Each one's different,
Yeah.
each one's different, and this one's a lot different. Our local commissioners, we have two up, like you were saying, we have Chris Constance, Dr. Chris Constance. It's hard to remember how to address him, but commissioner, doctor. But in this circumstance, he is commissioner, he's sitting, and he has supported us throughout the years. And, he definitely has our support, and we got to show it. And, and the response back is he shows us the support.
Yeah.
And so he gets it. He's
So I've
in the
talked
medical
about-
industry.
Well, I've also talked about our process, like how we determine how we endorse, right? And I've tried my best to dumb this the fuck down to fireman level stuff, right? Incumbent, guy in office, got the woman in office, friend, got our endorsement, right? Incumbent, not our friend, we talk about it, right? So he's going to talk about that next race, right? Because we're running someone against an incumbent, and well, if you can read the tea leaves, there's a reason, right? And then if it's an open race, then we have our process, right? We bring the political guys in. G gets involved. The DDP gets involved. We do interviews, and we sit there and hammer through it and figure what we think is best. Sometimes we endorse, sometimes we don't, and we go from there, right? And so talked about Constance, right? Incumbent, friend, known commodity.
Yeah, no,
Next race.
a lot of people. Just by the way, a lot of people they they may not agree with his. Like I've heard you say this in other podcasts. They don't agree with some politic thought that he has on whatever other topic that doesn't even doesn't apply to us. And so when we work on behalf of the union, it strictly applies to firefighting. And I when you said that, it was like I have to remind myself to say that too, because people get caught up in that. Like, well, I didn't like that he did this and that. I'm like, but does that affect us? The answer is no. It doesn't affect firefighters. And so just keep that in mind.
We do our best to stay in our lane.
Yeah, keep it in mind, and that's what our focus is when we're supporting these candidates, and the track record of the ones that are incumbents, and then of course the challengers like Kim Amontree, who you said was on the school board. She did great things, and I remember we interviewed her, and she was like giving her spiel. And I was like, I read something about you and what you had done for the school district, increasing wages and making their lives better. Yeah. And I asked, did you inherit that or did you do that? Because there's a big difference. And we know people will take credit for things that they inherited, right? Yeah. And so, she just point blank said, oh, you want to know how I did it? Relationships. I asked. And so people before her just didn't talk to the people who made the decisions because they didn't like them. And I'm like, geez, if that were the circumstance, nobody would talk to anybody ever,
Including you.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
He's very likable.
Keep your enemies
He's very
close.
likable.
I'm joking.
It's the smile. It's the freaking smile.
And so yeah, listening to her talk, and I remember she left, and we all kind of looked at each other, and we said,
and he bust your balls.
We support her. We support her. She makes sense to us. She's an incredible speaker. Just involved and has those relationships.
Well, also there's a and we're probably going to see this a little bit in the campaign, not from us, right? Because we don't. Another thing we don't do is we don't talk about the other person, right? We concentrate on our endorsed candidate and simply say we're endorsing this person because of this, right? But the reality of it is her opponent is 87 years old, right? And politics is what it is, and it's a dirty game. We had a recent administration that had somebody, and we have a current administration now that have somebody's over 80, and it's sometimes it's like, okay, listen, there's a threshold to this. Somebody's been in office for over a decade, wants us to forget that he voted in every bit of development that's in the town, but now all of a sudden he voted down something and said, look, I'm not against it. Listen, bro, if anybody's doing their fucking homework, it's bullshit, right?
Which the union does do its homework.
Yeah, like, listen, I'm pretty fucking good at what we do here with this politics game. And listen, dude, you're not kidding anybody when you say, oh, look, I voted down the budget this year, $10 million. Well, okay, well, in that $10 million you tried to vote was us. Right? We saw that, right? When we talk about friends, not friends, right? He voted against a budget that included our shit.
Yeah.
Right? So we recognize that stuff and say, so when, and when he comes around and we're sitting at an event for the CFO and he goes and comes and talks to Chad, our DVP, and throws his hand around Chad, and his campaign manager / girlfriend takes a picture, says, oh, look, Steven's supporting the firefighter. Look, no, dude, you're not kidding nobody.
No.
You're not kidding nobody.
No.
Right? So let's be real. And I hope he listens, because I'm on to his game.
Yeah.
It's okay. I'm willing to call people out. Sorry, Mike.
That's all right. It's about to heat up there, she's ground pounding hard.
Yeah. Fabrice's driving around everywhere.
Yeah, and we've had a couple driving around, and she just gave me her June calendar. We'll fill that too, and I'm telling you, she is locked and loaded, ready to go. And this doesn't mean that like it's an open policy. We can ask for whatever we want, but she will. We were absolutely at the table with her even before we were at the table with her.
Yeah,
and I just remember in that meeting we had Chad and I had. She said, "What's something that you guys are thinking about?" And we just said, hey, we're thinking about this, we're thinking about that. And she was like, let me make something happen for you. And she did. She wasn't even commissioner.
Well,
And she made something happen. And, you know, it had to do with education and stuff and paramedicine and trying to get things moving in our field and get approval. And it was like, done.
Boom.
And, you know, we were like, I just looked at Chad and I said, you realize this is all because of Kim, in a conversation of like, she literally didn't just ask for the sake of asking to pretend like she cared. She actually put it in action, and it moved so quick. It like shocked me.
So yeah, and part of our, so you know, when we get into these, we when we sat down with her, right, we get into these processes, and again, you know, going against an incumbent, you know, generally, again, a guy like I study a lot of politics. Unfortunately, incumbents usually have about a 6 to, depending on how you read, 6 to 8% advantage because of just name recognition, et cetera, right? So you have to make these considerations when you make endorsements. However, her being so involved in the community with the YMCA and the school board and other things, like that negates that, right? People know her name, right? So then when you put her up against just person to person, right? Well, that makes it easy for us, right? And then when you have somebody who says he supports you, but then votes down shit.
Yeah.
You know, like listen, dude, you're not fucking fooling anybody.
As G
I
would
think it was
say,
just
no
desperation for votes, to be honest with you. He just voted down everything thinking, I'll show how conservative I am by saying no to everything, which is not what the community actually wants or needs. They need someone who's paying attention.
Well, that, and also if anybody is paying, the people who are paying attention are like, well, for the last, you know, over a decade, you have done this, and now it's an election year, and you've done the complete opposite, and hope that it saves your
You're
career.
giving way too much airtime to that thought. Man. I'm going to move on. Let's go with Chris. Dr. Constance, Commissioner Constance. I remember, the last 2 elections, and the last election we gave him a lot of support. He asked for it, and we gave it. And prior ones, he didn't really ask. He wasn't reaching out to us. We kind of reached out to him, talked to him, and now he has an opponent who's. I don't know how qualified his opponent is, but it's someone who's gathered some momentum in some little communities that I think may hold some pressure against him. So he's reached out and he's ready to rock again.
Yeah, and we met with his opponent, right? And we did, and we won't say anything bad about his opponent because he's a good dude, right? He's
good dude. Good dude.
We don't do negative, right? And any campaign stuff you see from us, it's mostly just we support X because of X, right? And that's it. Good enough dude. And, cop from New York, understands unions, all that stuff. However, we have a known commodity, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And even meeting with this individual privately, he said, hey, listen, I understand what you guys are doing. You have a friend, and like we told Mr. Fleming, right, in our process, that if you beat us or you beat our friend and you become a friend, then you never have to ask for our endorsement again, right? That's just how we work, right? We honor. We're loyal as fuck. We're loyal to each other.
Yeah.
We're loyal to our friends, right? Almost to a fault sometimes, right?
Sure.
And in Commissioner Constance's case, he's been a friend, constant friend. And so we just, we're there.
Yeah, very thankful. Gets what we're trying to do as an organization. Gets what we're trying to move forward and support the community. Understands that that requires resources and is willing to say yes to those resources. And that's, what else? What else do we need from him in the fire service?
And from the public safety standpoint, like you said, a doctor involved with the hospital system. So he's very involved in that, how we integrate with the hospital system down in Charlotte County, and is very attuned to response times, right? Station builds, having rescues, adding new rescues, right? Making sure like what you guys are doing in Charlotte County with adding more medics, that kind of stuff. He's very attuned to that.
Very, very. And, we kind of flew by Vanessa Oliver, but, with her private business and that's, again, she understands it too. She gets it perfectly. And what a great relationship we have with these representatives that get it. They get it. They understand how to serve it, and they understand what we need to be of service to the community. And it's worked out really well, and it continues to.
We're very fortunate. You're right, in Charlotte County, between
Well said.
the congressman Stubbe and then state reps and Danny Nix and Vanessa Oliver, are currently the Senate President Albritton is Charlotte County, right? And so that group, and then our county commission at Charlotte really does have a focus on what we talk about all the time. Government exists to keep its citizens safe, and that's us, right? Us and police, and then the hospital system and other things, right? They really do buy into and believe that, and so we're fortunate in that case with guys like Constance, people like Vanessa, people like Danny Nix. They get that shit, right? I mean, as your state rep at the FBF level, I have never had to ask Vanessa or Danny for anything twice. I can tell you that right now.
And that's huge.
Never had to ask them twice, right? Said, hey, I would call them up. We talked about 929. All those two, Bill Connolly, all freshmen, right? Call them up. Hey, man, I need co-sponsors on this deal. Fucking done in 5 minutes, man. Like Meredith, our FBF ledge coordinator up there, director up there, shot me a text like 30 minutes later, said thank you, because and I refreshed the deal, and all three of our people are on there. Just that quick, right? Like they got us. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. So, a lot going on. Again, it'll be kicking off in June. It'll go through November. So sorry. Sorry, not sorry. I'm sorry if I ask more than 20 times too, because I know some people get upset when I send multiple texts. It's
You know how you stop that, is
I'm
you-
not going to stop. Yeah.
He's persistent. People.
But again, City of Punta Gorda has an election going on too.
I got 3
Greg,
races this year.
there's just so much. There's just so much, and it's exciting, and everybody, most of the incumbents, and then with Kim, I think it's going to be very positive results.
Okay, so
for Charlotte County.
We haven't made any official, so I'm going to speak to this and probably show my ass a little bit. But so
that means everybody's
Hello?
strap in right now.
yeah,
Strap.
there's a group in Punta Gorda right now.
I'm grabbing my whiskey
city of
before
Punta
he
Gorda.
says this.
I'm taking my headset off.
Yeah, there's this.
All this does is make me want to set something on fire.
So let's just say our brothers and sisters at the city of Punta Gorda and the fireside were able to secure a contract last year, and that's great. But we have brothers in blue, and they are represented by the PBA down in Punta Gorda. And we have a group of individuals who have now voted down their contract, not once but twice. Okay? The second time after giving the city manager direction to okay this contract, which then the PBA and our brothers in the Punta Gorda police department okayed, ratified, and then they voted it down, right? A group who's been here less than 5 years who seems to think that they know what the city of Punta Gorda means, right? And so I got good news today that we have an opponent for one of them, and Mike and I and our Punta Gorda brothers will be meeting with this individual. But I want these fucking people out ASAP. They're bad for the community. They're bad for public safety. I have no fucking problem saying it. Okay? And we're going to work our butts off this year to make sure that they don't have a job in fucking come November. And I have no problem saying any of that stuff.
That's why we call him the Godfather.
All right? That's when I look at my list, I have 88 damn races I'm tracking through 3 different counties when I look at my list in my top 5 of people to go, they're in there, right? And that's one of my priority missions. And so Mike, unfortunately, is going to be the dude doing a lot of this work. I'm going to run off the mouth, and then Mike's going to have to fix that.
I'm on vacation during that time.
But these people need to go. These people need to go, right? When we talk about pro-public safety, they have shown repeatedly that they are not pro-public safety. And that's okay. But we're going to make sure you don't have a job anymore.
Just to
They
help
like
out.
their firefighters. They just don't like to do anything for them.
Exactly. Like they will literally say, "We love you guys," and they'll show them hearts in city. Like literally have a picture of the mayor showing our people hearts in a city council meeting as they vote down shit for them. Right? No, but we love you guys. No, but you don't. Right? So go. So got good news today that we have a legitimate opponent for one of them.
Chad, go check on
Yeah.
Roebuck, would you? Make sure he's okay.
Hey,
Yeah.
just
But we're gonna go.
just to help
It's
out
go
Mike.
time.
To help out Mike, as you say, yeah, you're going to show up to help. Shoot him your shirt size for the 2546. Don't fuck around shirt.
And we got our brothers from the PBA going to be out there with us. So nothing says more to the community than police and fire standing together saying these people need to go. And they need to go.
All I was going to say was that I like the one guy running again. That's what I was going to say. That's it. That's all I wanted to say. The guy that is running. Am I allowed to say?
What's his name?
Greg Julian. And we
Greg's
haven't,
awesome.
We haven't officially endorsed anybody in any of those races yet.
I just said I liked him.
Preliminary.
You know,
It's
he is a guy
preliminary.
I like.
Mike,
Preliminary.
I, and the city guys are be meeting on Monday, and we're going to start working through this process because we're
go.
going to start flying off endorsements here very quickly.
Boom.
Ooh, Josh is going to be learning quick.
Oh yeah, he's gonna get a crash course on
Crash course on this shit, baby.
this what we do, and these people need to go.
It's
Right?
going to
And
be
I'm gonna
okay,
make it-
Josh.
I'm going to make it that simple.
We got you, baby. We got you,
It's going
brother.
to be okay.
And we have shown repeatedly through our careers
It's going to be okay,
as
Jim.
firefighters and union members and union leadership that we're not scared of anybody. Right?
You-
And so we're going to go. Let's
Guess
go.
what? We're going to be here. We're then going too.
I wish we would have started the podcast off like that.
I think I'm going to put that
I'm
in
gonna
the
be
front
like-
of the podcast.
He's going to re-edit this to the
He's
front.
polished. He
I don't
knows
know,
you
you
have to build them up.
Episode 7.
Hit
People
'em
were
with
going
the
to
sledge.
destroy.
Dude,
Man,
you just
where do we
flip-
go from there?
I mean, there's a switch, right? And those motherfuckers have hit the switch. So I'm over that, and they need to go. And so we're gonna make that happen. And then we're gonna stand over their political corpses and send them back to wherever they come from. So all good.
Do you have drink left in your cup there?
I do.
Or is that gone?
No, it's still there. I haven't even finished my drink yet. I'm not even that mad.
JMO, we know the Godfather's a professional.
How much of this can you edit?
No,
None.
no.
None.
Brother,
Swag.
Thank you,
Swag.
Mike. Thank you for Mike for the update and give me. I actually started to sweat now. Thank you, Mike, for the update. I want to say something now that I've calmed back down. You've done exactly what I hoped you would be doing for this organization in Charlotte County. When I stepped into this place and I had a vision to kind of build out the staff and with business agents and political guys and media people, and the media thing kind of came together and all this other stuff. But
Which is awesome.
when
JMO.
I was stepping in here,
Thank you, Angel.
you were top of the list for me, right? As far as who I wanted for that position, and had you turned me down, that list wasn't very long. So I'm glad you didn't turn me down, and I'm just so very appreciative of you. I know you put a maximum effort to this. You're getting these dudes involved, right? You're getting guys like this young man next to me.
Easy for breezy.
Yeah, involved, which I love. You getting guys like River involved. Some of the other brothers and sisters driving shifts with Kim and others involved. So very appreciative of you. Even last year, in an off year with Punta Gorda, right, helping Melissa get reelected. You were out there with those guys, right, doing work. You got Charlotte people helping city people, and vice versa. That's what this is all about, right? Everybody helping everybody. And so appreciative of you and your work. And just thank you. And now that I've calmed down, thank you a lot for. I get hot sometimes,
He
and
does.
it's okay.
It's good.
And especially when it's people attacking us, and
Passionate. We use the word passionate.
you're gonna do your best to ensure my vision is true, where we can stand on election night laughing our asses off that these people no longer have a damn job. Right? And I'm looking forward to that experience. So thank you so much. All right, we've kind of run this a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Has anybody got anything else?
Raffle reminder. Again,
Yes, so-
raffle
Well,
reminder.
and swag.
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 Yeah, brothers and sisters, we got a lot of swag, and we got to actually start showing some of our glasses,
Yep. Right here.
some of our
Hat on.
our card hearts,
Shirts,
our
polos,
hats,
Hats and
polos,
polos.
Right here.
If you're interested in any of our swag,
sweatshirts.
it's all on the website now. Miss Sylvia's put it up there.
And new swag coming.
it all goes to charity,
It does,
which
So,
makes us look phenomenal because we are.
you know the two income sources we have to our 2546 charitable foundation is the tag monies from the firefighter tags in the counties we represent, and or the areas we represent, and then every dollar we make on any of our swag items, the proceeds of that go right back to our charity. So we buy it out of our charity. Honestly, like we talked about earlier, we charge $1 or $2 more than what we bought it for. Put it right back in our charity, right?
Yeah.
And we're not making real money off of it, right? We're just enough to say we did it, right? And but it does help the charitable foundation, which we then use to fund, give checks to other 501(c)(3)s, which we've done a lot of this year, and or for training within 2546. We used some of those funds last year for the 2 peer support classes.
Big.
And so we've used it for different reasons. So all the swag goes right back to that. So thank you for mentioning that. And of course, the involvement raffle, we're gonna keep chirping on that as much as possible.
Pound it.
For Breezy's the leader in the clubhouse right now, with 5. Get involved, and it's as simple as showing up to the negotiations meeting, like the brother from SE did yesterday. Showing up to the commission meetings, showing up to this stuff, getting involved. I'm a big believer in a educated member is a better member. I am a firm believer in that process. Understand what we do every day. Understand what your dues are doing every day for you. Because a lot of times people pay dues and they think it has nothing, it's just contract and disciplines and this and that and grievances.
Way bigger.
So much bigger, right? We do so many things, and just getting involved for a couple events will help you understand how big our organization is and how much influence we have. But we always get that influence when we show up to shit en masse, right? And we don't get that influence just from me and Mike showing up on the corner. No, we get that influence from, there was times, and when I first got into doing some of this, where just me and Merv, and we played a little game, right? We would be at a corner for 15 minutes.
I remember that game.
Yeah, and then we drive to the next corner for 15 minutes, and then we drive to the next corner for 15 minutes, and all of a sudden we get a call from a candidate saying, "Man, everybody's seeing you guys at every corner." Yeah.
That was like that
Don't
was
give
four.
away all
That
our
was 4
secrets.
raffle tickets right there.
Yeah. We'd rather not have to do that again, right? So let's get involved as much as you can. Even if it's just coming to meetings and that sort of thing. We're a big believer in that, and our executive board has taken every. They've bought into it as well, and increased budgets in certain places to taking money from some places and moved into those places from member involvement and member, going to conferences and conventions and that kind of things. get your asses out there and enjoy that stuff, and see what we do, and if I can get 20 more Fabrices, then Charlotte County's set forever, right? And that's the goal. And so I'm so appreciative of you guys. I'm so glad we had this first time having a full table here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Having
Loved it.
Have Fabrice and Seth and Mike and G. Thank you guys so much for being here.
Thank you.
If you guys don't have anything else, we're going to sign off.